What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much, nothing much. Sure, yeah. So I got you on
All right.
art here. Both y'all was talking about, we wanted to work on our, the trading plans and stuff like that, and just get some psychology tips and stuff, right?
Yeah, what's going on is I started with 300 and it wasn't going so well. And I'm at like 122 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it just hasn't been cutting it. I've been using point. I started with point 3, then I went down to point 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to 1.15, depending on like the trades and stuff like that. I trade GJ.
Okay, so you trading a high volatile pair, yeah. Okay, and then with a $300 account, cause the account is shit. Hold on, but yeah, what I would say, Brody, honestly, is because you trading like a high volatile pair. What one things I always like to do, especially with the I'm in Atlanta. Okay, so yeah, 6:30. All right, bet. So yeah, cause it's a high volatile pair, bro, and a $300 account, really, me personally, I probably would have started off, using probably like the point ones, the 0.15s, just until you got like a feel for the account and you could get like a certain rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Because understanding
Yeah,
like DJ is super volatile, and you gotta that's a pair that you gotta let breathe sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that. With that being said, like I probably would have started off as like risk management wise, like, and then understanding how much were you risking per order.
I was trying to go by the quarters, right? Because I was just following Drewzy's signals.
Yeah.
So it was like 25 pips, right? 25, 30 pips.
Okay. Okay. You really risk like around.
But like this past week, it hasn't been going so hot, apparently, or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I started like 3-4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just getting into the flow of things. Like I signed up with you, but like it wasn't working out, so I'm like here now. And I'm doing like the whole. I'm just going through like what they're showing on this, like as far as market structure. I'm like doing it how Drewzy does it here, just so I'm like familiar with everything and stuff like that. But like I'm at 100 now, so like I should be putting in like 0.1s, right? Or like 0.05, right?
It really just like for me to be honest with you, it really just depends on your skill level. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't seen people, be able to build $100 account, but like just going off of somebody's signals and hoping to build it, like that's always going to be kind of hard because it just depends on the pip ratio. You know what I'm saying? Because with you having $100 account, like now, I would probably be using especially with GJ, probably like 0.05, 0.07s. But at the same time, you got to realize like what you just playing with $100, like you're not gonna be seeing the money that you want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be money that's like you could find in the couch. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's not gonna be like any life changing profits. That's why it's like with me, I recommend, and even what Q said, he recommends, somewhere between like a $500, $750 account, so that way you actually got some weight. You know what I mean? To your account, right? And you can actually, hold those orders, just like what he was talking. I'm not sure if you was on the Zoom call earlier, but he was saying like how now he's about to start turning the group into more of like a swing type of mentality, right? And that's because you get more pips and more profit out of those swing type setups, but they also are going to take, more time to set up. So that's going to cause you to be even more patient, and things like that. And you're going to want to have a nice account size to allow you to actually fluctuate within the market. You see what I'm saying? Because if you got $100 and you're doing, you know, like 50 cent lots, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna
Yeah, I
take
see what
you
you're
a lot
saying.
longer. You see what I mean? It's gonna take you a lot longer. And psychologically wise, like that can really like fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Because you could blow that $100 like this if you don't know what you're doing, you're not using the proper risk per trade. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's definitely doable. But me personally, I just wouldn't recommend like if like how long have you been trading?
I've been before this. I had a demo account,
Uh-huh.
and like I was doing like okay, like I would get like 10, 15 pips, but like it was kind of not very consistent as far as um, how much I was getting in profit. So that's why I kind of signed up for Drewzy's thing to try and like to do better, right?
Right, right.
So that's where I am now.
Okay, so yeah, what I would do, Brody, is really, to be honest, I would just wait until I got more capital to actually, you know what I'm saying, and just keep working on that skill set, you know, whether that's demoing, paper, you know, try paper trading or any type of thing, just because if you consistently blowing $100 accounts or like low minimum accounts, eventually, you know, that starts to add up. You know what I mean? When you
Right.
just waited and really focused in on your skill and your development within the trading industry, and then once you got that nice 750, you know, $1,000 account, you know, then you can actually take, you know, point 50s and not have to check your phone every couple hours or anything like that, because you understand that you have enough fluctuation room, and if you lose 2-3 trades, it's not gonna blow your whole account basically or put you at $100. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. So because that can really fuck you up, you know, and you could get stuck in that realm of just being like, "Fuck it, I'm only gonna put $100 in here. I'm only gonna put $300 in here," and then you done blown, and next thing you know, all that shit then totaled up to like 2,000, 2,500, where you just could have waited and
Right,
really
right. Yeah, I
developed
won't do
that
that again. I
2,500.
won't do that again. Okay, I see what you're saying. So I'll just do that. All right. What else? Um, that's about it. Like I was stressed. I was just stressed out, man, because I was doing all these buys and
Mm-hmm.
it was just not. It wasn't with it at the time. You know what I mean?
And
So
you gotta understand, you know, understand the time that we're in, and that comes with, you know, getting signals. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you trusting and relying on somebody else to you know that's you know more probable. You know what I mean, within the markets to execute, and you know it's a
exactly.
probable game. So it's like, you know, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some, especially with that. But far as like your development with alone, like how do you feel when you get on the charts and, you know, far as like trading view and stuff like that?
Um, I mean, like the demo account that I have now, it's a new account,
Mm-hmm.
and like I just did it like 1,000, and then I think it's down now. But like there've been instances where I've been like past accounts where I've made profit.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I would like do like I don't know average whatever that is, like make profit, lose profit. But at the end of the day, I'm still like learning, I guess, like how to do it right. Like I was a bit confused, like to be honest, as I was doing it, like it was coming through, like I get the overall gist of the thing, but like I was just not seeing any results. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the part that was really stressing me out. So I guess I just need some more practice with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
But
But until then, I
technical wise, like you understand, like, you know, your trends, and you know, like, you know, if I'm in an uptrend, where I'm looking to buy, if I'm in a downtrend, where I'm looking to sell. You know what I'm saying?
actually it's starting to clear up more now that I'm looking at the market structure.
Okay.
The way Druzy does it. I just started like doing the lines for the market structure there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing them on every time frame down to 1 hour. So I just know when the lower highs are and the lower lows, etc. are. Right?
Right.
And so and then from there I can find the uh, those points
Okay.
where market bounces off of, right?
right, because
That's correct.
he's teaching like quarter points and things like that. So like all of those things are basically like a dynamic way of looking at support and resistance. You see what I'm saying? Support being your main floor and, resistance being your ceiling. So it's like, even when you're looking at, trend lines, Fibonacci technicals, any kind of technical, meaning anything that you personally can draw on the chart, is going to be anything that's dynamic, and that's just going to be giving you more insight to, am I looking at resistance? Am I looking at support? Is the market going to be trending? Is it a trending market, or is it a consolidated market? Like, basically those technicals are a way for you to create a certain thing called like workflow. And that's basically like a certain rule and parameters, like for instance, your trading plan, certain rules and parameters that, you can mentally walk yourself through as like a checklist. So that way you're not getting caught up within all the noise that's going on in the market. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, when we set up these trading plans, it's like, what time am I looking at the market? Like what pair am I looking at? What session am I in? What's my main analyzing time frame that I'm gonna be on 80% of the time? What's my minor time frame that I'm looking to execute off of? What what entry base points am I looking for to try to take advantage of the market and actually, buy or sell, place an order. Other things like, let me see. Shoot, man, you could look at it's such like different ways to look at it, as far as like a confluence standpoint, a candlestick anatomy standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, just understanding, what are my reversal patterns? What are these things that are actually going to give me an edge in the market? Because that's all you're looking for. You know what I mean? It's not so much that we want to chase the market just because we understand that we can make money every day. You know what I'm saying? Or all the time. Or, we want to be able to understand where the market is, and then be able to take advantage of it, and be based on it being more probable in our favor than anything else. You see what I'm saying?
I think one of the main things with me right now is like two things. One, like when it's not at a like level of support or resistance, that's like, if you draw like a trend line or one of those bars, one of those like support and resistance bars. I forget what they're called, but
Yeah.
like, and you're looking for an entry, like Drewsy's doing, like he'll have an entry. I'm lost like how he gets that entry, because like I want to do something similar like that.
Okay. So yeah, we'll hop on some charts in a second. Hey, Art, is there anything that you wanted to ask, bro?
I don't even know where to start at, to be honest. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where to start it, to be honest, because I got all the way to the verification, and I was literally 10 pips away from passing it, and then everything went the total opposite from that point.
Yeah, bro. Same, bro. Same with me, bro. I had did it. Um, when back in, I think like when all that corona stuff like had just started, bro. And it was the same with me, man. I got to like the verification part and totally blew the account, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just over leveraging and like letting things like that I had going on in my personal life affect what I had going on the charts and stuff. So it happens, Brody. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you thinking about getting back in and trying again?
Yeah, I got Top Step right now, but I mean, I was running two challenges at the same time of 50,000 and 150,000.
Okay. Nah, that's difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to manage, but like, it's doable at the same time. You know what I mean? Because I know people that manage multiple accounts, like 3-4 accounts, at a time, and successful with it. So it's just about finding really finding what works. And to me, it sounds like you was already on a good path to knowing. So like, how did you feel during your like the first part of the challenge? Like
It was cool. It was cool.
As far as like your equity curve.
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't take too many losses or anything like that. And I had a trading plan, and I don't know. I think it was just a whole bunch of different things. Like me, like as soon as I left LA, and flew out to Miami. I started taking L's, so lessons. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe I need to revamp my trading plan.
Was it like? Do you think it had anything to do with like the time sessions, or times you were taking trades?
I think at first it was that because I was used to Pacific time.
Right.
And I
Shoot,
had to get,
what pairs were you trading during the challenge?
just Euro GBP.
Okay, so we can look at that too. And stuff.
And I was just really scalping like off of the quarter points.
Okay, that's good, man. Like I said, bro, the quarter points, man. That shit. It works, bro. Like it's another dynamic. I think about all my the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I use them all the same, and I just understand because the first thing that you have to look at is market structure. You know what I'm saying? First thing comes first is always market structure because that's the only thing that can't be manipulated. You know what I mean? Like when I say manipulated, I mean like we draw our technicals on the chart. You know what I'm saying? So that's human error. You know what I mean? Like we can make an error and not make it touch the right point B or anything like that. So when I say just understanding market structure, that's the biggest thing, especially for you, Josh, because you coming into this thing and I don't want your psychology to be messed up just based off of sizing your account and trying to take advantage of the account size that you have. You see what I mean? So it's like just understand that it's gonna be bumps and stuff in this, but at the same time, like you could definitely it's a journey, bro. You know what I mean? Like I've been on win streaks, I've been on losing streaks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
6 weeks straight of losing.
Yeah, bro. It happens, bro. It happens, bro. But all that is growing in a new environment. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you got to look at it, and that's why, like, even if my mentor Q, like he always says, like, that's why you have to trade through these certain environments, because if not, if you just be like, oh, I'm gonna take this month off and not trade, then it's like you done missed out on a whole bunch of data. You know what I mean? Like trying to jump back into it or just trying to take signals based off of what somebody telling you and not actually being able to be perceptive of what's happening in the market, can really put you behind it or at fault, or at risk of losing your account, because that's exactly what's gonna happen. So we can hop on some charts real quick and anything y'all see that y'all want to talk about or anything like that, like we could definitely talk about it. Cause bro, you say you trade you was trading GJ, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is like one of the charts I had marked up earlier for a webinar that I'm gonna post in the group. But yeah, and you said you were trying to understand like why Drew gets in certain places as far as like these points and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes like when it's not where like a trend line is or where a level of like strong support is, I'm like he'll put in a buy and stuff, and I'm just like trying to figure out like.
Well, you gotta understand too.
How he come into
Drew's
that
been
conclusion.
trading this pair, bro, for a while. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's gonna have certain insight that sometimes it might not seem clear to you, but then it'll still work out. You know what I mean? Because he's been studying and back testing this, basically a doctor dissecting this pair for a while. You know what I mean? So, but like I just wonder, like,
yeah, no, cool. Like from what I gather from GJ right now, right, is like my like main time frame is a 4-hour time frame right now. And I just like did a markup actually, so I know like my bias is uptrend, obviously, and you can tell from like the higher time frames, like the day and the month, like structure hasn't broken on those time frames. Plus, it's going right back up to like a descending trend line, which is like visible on the month overall, right? Mm-hmm. So for entries, for entries, like that's where the confusion comes in sometimes.
Right.
Like as far as taking in the entry.
Okay, so it's entries and stuff, bro, is always gonna be subjective. You know what I mean? Because just like anything in this trading shit, because you know everybody looks at this shit differently. Everybody sees a different picture when they see this. You know, but as far as like me, if I'm seeing like an uptrend and I'm seeing an uptrend structure, then the only thing like I'm looking for is higher low points. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand that that's gonna be the floor, you know, the lowest point that the market is trying to go to before it reverses. So, and what I like to do is I like to use, like these counter trend lines, like you said, like, you know, these kind of counter trend lines just to understand momentum and where momentum's flowing at. See what I mean? So, and I had said earlier, I haven't posted this webinar yet, but like I said earlier, from this point on, I saw nothing but buys with it. You know what I mean? Just because it had made this higher low point here, it had broke like a lower high point on a lower time frame price, such as like the 4 hour, 1 hour down here somewhere, came up to make that first lower high point that's from here. But from this point on, it made this higher low point. And once it made a higher low point, I understood that, you know, the momentum was going back, you know, kind of bullish. You know what I'm saying? So we had that higher high that happened here just on this time frame, and then we came back for that 78.6 retracement level that was right there that gave me a trend line opportunity. So that's the other thing that you got to realize too, is when you have opportunities to actually draw certain technicals. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just be drawing shit to try to make it make sense. I'm only going to draw it if it gives me the opportunity to draw it. You see what I'm saying?
So for that second higher low point, like the
Right
one
here.
right where that blue, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like how do you know like that it's one gonna go back up based on like the position and everything right there?
Based on market structure alone, right? We had this fall here that broke and this is just knowing market structure. We had this fall here that broke this support, right? So once it broke this support here, we know that it's got it, once it makes a support point, a new support point, it has to come up to try to make a lower high point, an official lower high point. So even if I was you know, just measuring this just to try to understand where that first lower high point would be, of course I'm looking at 38.2 because, you know, I was taught that 38.2 is an official lower high point. That's the first official lower high point in the price reversal zones. So, and then usually I'm looking for an aggressive push back to the downside, right? So it gave me some type of consolidation still along here, but after that, it tried to go and give you that aggressive push down to the downside, but ended up making a higher low, right? And it's a higher low compared to the main low point that's right here. Okay, so once it made a higher low point, and then like I said, let me get this fibs out the way. You start to see, like it came and made this support right here that was never broken. So you had a bearish and bullish right here. So that bearish and bullish candle let you know that that's some form of support, but it never fully broke. It never gave you a bearish candle that formed on this level of support, and then another bearish candle that formed after it, letting you know there's enough volume for that market to continue to keep pushing, even on this higher time frame, right? So that gives you that, and understand it takes hella candles to make these higher time frames, so you can actually trust this data. Okay, so once it gave you this bullish candle right here, and it went bearish bullish, that lets you know it's just testing this area, right? So since it's just being tested, then you understand that at this point in time, that counter trend could continue to keep going higher up in the PRZs, or at least come back to test that 38.2 that we had. So these are the type of workflows that I'm going through just based off knowing market structure. I know that I had a high point. It came and made a new low point. I know that the next point of structure is a lower high. So it made that lower high. I know the next point of structure is a lower low. It tried to make that lower low, but failed. It made a higher low. That lets me know that there's more buying pressure in the market. That's what I trust within my technicals and with market structure. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Especially that we're on this high-ass time frame, understanding that it takes a lot of candles, a lot of data to be packed into these candles. But once it gave me that bearish bullish, I understood where I was at. It came up, and like I said, tried to retest. It retested right here, but I wanted to see it break some type of resistance, right? So it broke this resistance right here. And as you can see, what I mean by the break is that it gave you a bullish candle that formed on that level of resistance right here. and then another candle that closed outside of this resistance level with enough volume in it, letting you know that that market is going to continue to push, right? So it came up and gave you that high point, that new higher high compared to this lower high point. So that's clearly a break of structure, right? So it came up, gave you that higher high. Now I have a point A now that I can have, a point B, and then all I'm waiting on is for the sellers to get back out of the market as far as this counter trend, so I can take advantage of the market. So I would have been analyzing on lower time frames. And when I say lower time frames, if I'm on a daily, then I'll go down to my hour time frame, so I can see a lot more details, right? So let's just go do that real quick. Right. So we can see how, like I said, it started making lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, retest, lower low, lower high. And then along this area, it made nothing but a low and then came back to retest this high. But like I said, we saw that break that happened here, right? So understanding where we're at in the market now, this is when you have to be able to use time frame correlation and put everything together, right? Because I understand that, yeah, I'm on a downtrend, but I have, I would have been using this counter trend line just to gauge those lower high points and slowly like spreading it out as the market began to breathe until I found a nice angle. So I found a nice angle like somewhere like around here or like around here on the higher time frame, right? So once I understood that I had that break, the only thing I'm looking for now is some type of candle to let candles or candle variation to let me know that it's okay for me to get into the market, because I understand that on a daily time frame, I'm at a support point. I'm at a point where the market already made a previous higher low point, and I'm just waiting on it to break outside of my sell zone and take advantage of the market somewhere at a support point. So even if you waited for you already had this break that happened on the higher time frame here, and then it came and made a higher high right here, came back, gave you that retest, consolidated a little bit in this zone right here. And this is where you got to be patient sometimes too, and not just like pull the trigger. You see what I'm saying? Because you had all of this basically just going sideways in this area. So it was just basically going sideways, but the whole time it was still maintaining that higher low pressure. You see what I'm saying? So with that, on the break of this this trend line that happened right here, I would have been able to see the retest, wait for some buyer pressure to come into the market, let's say like around this area. And this is like an entry opportunity. You see what I'm saying? After the fact, like more of a continuation opportunity, because if you was really tracking it, then like you would have been able to take advantage of opportunities, like understanding that this is like a double bottom pattern. You got the touch point B of a trend line. So you can't really up your lot size to take advantage of it. But at the same time, with all of this confluence, even if I go to a line chart, you see it's like a double bottom pattern here, or almost like a triple bottom type thing going on over here. So you understand it was so much support right here along with your trend line. So you would have been able to actually take advantage of opportunities up in this area as well with a short stop loss. You see what I'm saying? Stop loss being outside of that exhaustion zone that I have towards the bottom. You see what I mean? So that's like I said, different ways of being dynamic in the market once you study the charts and you understand what it is that you're looking for. You see what I mean? Because you could even have like a mini counter trend line right here. And all of these things, like I said, could have just helped you add up as to why am I getting into a market, and then also what am I looking for in the market. So let's say we got into an entry, we could have had one entry here, another entry somewhere up here. Either way, both are valid. We could say this would have been more like a confident entry right here because you had so much confluence.
That's the 1 hour though, right?
Right.
Once you find a position, you're going down onto the lower time frame.
Right. So exactly. Right? But all the time frames do the same shit, bro. Honestly, you see what I'm saying? You just digging for more and more detail. So even if we seen this area testing support a bunch of times, yeah, I would have went to my 30-minute time frame first, just to see if I'm seeing the same things, which I am. And as you can see, like even right here, there's a good entry opportunity when you had this set up. this candle closed above this candle right here, letting you know it's more buyers in the market than sellers, already at a point of confluence. Nice 30-minute candle. All of these, one doji candle, doji. So even if you X'd all these out, that 1-2 candle lets you know that it's enough buyers in the market to go ahead and take advantage of this market, understanding that you're already at a low point on the daily and 1 hour time frame.
And okay, so just to say, recap, so from the higher time frame, you're finding that position based on your technicals, based on market structure, and then from there you can go to like 4 hour, 1 hour, around that.
It depends on like I said, it just depends on as far as your main analyzing time frame, where you see the market the clearest at. So some pairs, it might be the daily. If we go to Euro GBP, it might be the 4 hour. You know what I'm saying? We go to USD CAD, it might be the 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on where you see the market the closest and understanding, do I need more detail or less detail? But I'm basically on the higher time frames looking for some point of indecision. You see what I'm saying? See, it came down here first and was indecisive, and also using past data to understand, where I'm at in the market and, how it can affect future price movement. So understanding that I already had a point of exhaustion here that was on the daily time frame. That's why, marking these boxes and exhaustion zones a certain color, so that way you can understand. You also remember, what time frame you drew those technicals on will also help you as well. But
for the like that orange bar, you got that right there going sideways, horizontal.
Yeah, exhaustion.
Exhaustion zone. Do you just need one price reversal point in order to mark that down?
Yeah, all I did was get it from the daily time frame. I seen that the market was being respected down here. It came down here, closed, went back up bullish. So that bearish bullish, remember I told you, lets me know that's a point of support. And it was on a higher time frame. So I knew that it would be it's on a respected time frame. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a lot of data. It would take a lot of data to push past that support. Okay. You see what I mean?
All right. Yeah. Cool.
So I had what I did was basically I took that little wick and then the bottom of this wick right here made my exhaustion zone. So even if I was redrawing it, right, I would just take like from the bottom of that wick to this wick and just go across.
Right.
And I just want to go on lower time frames, like you said, where I see more data and just see how price reacts to that zone. And if I seen that, okay, it's being respected on the higher time frames and the lower time frames, this is an important area. So when price came back to this area, like I said, that's when I could be ready to make a move. You see what I'm saying? I could be ready and alert, because I know one way or the other, it's going to be something going down, and it gave me, like I said, a trend line right here. So I had confluence in this area. So that gave me more confidence. That was like, all right, instead of doing a 0.5, I could do a standard lot. You see what I'm saying? Because I understand my risk from here to here, 65 pips, but depending on the move, 239 pips, 240 pips. Just on you being patient and waiting for your technicals to play out. That's why it's like you always want to choose quality over quantity and let the market come to you, because if you go chasing the market, you're going to be getting a bunch of short-term shit and honestly fuck around getting the wrong trend. And then when the main trend comes back, you're going to blow your account, So it's better to just wait and let the market play towards your technicals, and then take advantage of the market when it's clear on what's happening.
Okay, I think I get it.
You said what, Brody?
I think I get it, yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing. And then, like I said, the market came back, made another higher low point here, So these are areas, like I said, once you got confidence, then, you can start looking for scaling opportunities on those same time frames. So we go back to
That's
the
what it
30
is,
minute, even the 15-minute time frame, you know, just depending on where you need to see data at. All right. So even here, when you seen tested, never broke. Remember, because if it broke, it would be what? Bearish, that formed on this level, and then another bearish candle after it. It's not. It went bearish bullish. It went bearish bullish. Came down here, same thing, bearish, doji. All of this down here, all of this right here, just means it's super exhausted. Super exhausted. It's been trying to break this area for a long time, and it just, you know, every time doji went back up, came back, doji. So that's why I said I would just be waiting for some type of break within this area. You know, even on this time frame, you had your move, because you know the lower and lower you get, you know, the more detail you're gonna see. So even with this move, I would, like I said, you would have been waiting for something to close above here, and you could have entered, you know, on the retest of this candle or at the close of this candle and still been good, you know, and then could have took it up. And then once it came back to retest, fibs again, waiting for the market to find a point of support. You see it tested here. Then I could have drew an exhaustion zone, been waiting for the market to come back and retest somewhere.
So
Came
there
back
again.
and retested.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Came back and retested. Gave you that formation of that bullish variation that happened right here. Sorry. You know, it's a scaling opportunity. You know, stop loss could have been right under
Scaling opportunity. Okay.
the 61%. But you see, you got another double bottom pattern. You see what I mean? Like, you start to see and recognize what the market's trying to do. And you see that it keeps trying to break resistance, you know? And you could have had, you know, 2 orders in floating to your negative 27%, or you could have had
So,
1 order in.
so where you got that blue box as an entry position to the left, the first time it touched that support line, why wouldn't you enter there? Why would you enter later on?
Me, because I would want to see more data. You know what I mean? I would want to see if the market is actually gonna break past versus, you know, just getting in at the first sight of support, because you could have been sitting in a lot of bullshit versus, you know, a lot of consolidation versus, you know, you waiting, getting more confluence, understanding that it's not trying to break that 50%, and then waiting on more volume, more bullish volume to come into the market to then ride it to your negative 27%. And the reason why I would still be waiting on that is because the way my fibs are set up, and understanding that 50% isn't a real price reversal zone. You know, it's more of a neutral zone, because this shit could have hit first support, came back, it made a lower high point, so that lets you know it's sellers in the market. You see what I'm saying? So it could have came and retraced deeper to 61.8, 78.6, or 88.6. So if I would have got in at first sight right here, I would have been holding drawdown anywhere from 27 pips to 55 pips, and nine times out of 10, if I put a place to order here, my stop loss probably would have been right under this support zone. So my stop loss would have got hit at 35 pips. You see what I'm saying? Versus me waiting for a little more confirmation. Okay, it gave me a second higher low point. So technically on the lower time frame, all of this is 100% retracement. You see what I'm saying? That would have gave me more influence being on, like, even if I need to go down to, like, let's say, like, even like 3 minutes just to see what's going on. Yeah, there's a lot of days. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. You see what I'm saying? We were still in the downtrend. We were still in the counter trend. You see what I mean? Until we seen the first sign, you know, of a break of resistance. We saw the first sign of a break of resistance. That lets us know that the market is beginning to transition, and that support is valid. You see what I mean? So once it came up, made that higher high, you know, it started came back to make that 100% retracement on this time frame. and then gave you what you needed on that 15 and 30 minute to feel comfortable taking that. But seeing all of
If
this,
you go to that same position on like the 1 hour or the 4 hour, does that help you somehow to like identify
yeah,
whether or not you
of
need
course,
to let the
because you're still seeing
market
all of
work
this
for you?
exhaustion. You still seeing all of this exhaustion on the hour and the higher time frame. You seeing it respect that 50%. You're seeing boom, bullish engulfing here. You see what I'm saying? So you understanding that buyers are coming into the market, but at the same time, it's still on that counter trend. So it has to break a point of resistance on a lower time frame for that higher time frame momentum to start rolling, that transition to start kicking into the higher time frames. It gotta happen. Remember, minutes, then hour. You know what I'm saying? Like seconds lead to minutes, minutes lead to hours. You see what I'm saying? Like it gotta happen on the minute, on the seconds time. I mean, on the minute time frame before it can happen on the hour time frame. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, it's got to break a point of resistance on the lower time frame before it can get a
Exactly. That
confirmation
gives
to
you your
enter.
transition on that higher time frame. Like for instance, if I see like
Okay.
this bullish engulfing, that because we would X out this candle, right? Because that's just a doji. So this yellow candle and this purple candle would be like, boom, that's my support. How do I know this support is valid? All right, bet. Let me go down to my 15-minute candle. I mean my 15-minute time frame. I go down to my 15-minute time frame and I see a minor breaker resistance. Well, you can't really see it on this time frame. You have to go deeper. But like on that 3-minute time frame where we was at, we seen that minor resistance that happened right there that broke. And then from that point on, we started seeing higher low points. We seen one last retest that gave you that 100% retest. Because that's all the market did was go like this. You see what I'm saying? That's just 100% retrace on that 50. So that would have gave me momentum, let me know like, all right, bet I know that we're still in a buyer's market and we're still looking for the uptrend, especially based on the fact if I still had orders in from down here. But 9 times out of 10, I would have got out seeing how this counter trend, how strong this counter trend was, and then I would have tried to get back in to with the same bias to ride it back up to my negative 27%.
I see. Okay. I'll work on it.
Yeah, bro. Like all it is just spending time on the charts, man, and just going back and finding certain areas that you would want to take advantage of. You see what I'm saying? Based off of past data. So that way when future data presents itself in the same type of manner, you got a little more insight on it and you're a little bit more probable because it's binary. It can always be, a winner could always be a loser could always be a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you think about it. The same way you lost, that $200, you could have won that $200 if you were in the right direction and you had the right insight in that environment. That's how I like to think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, man. And then you said, what other pair we needed to look at?
Oh, Euro GBP.
Damn, I didn't even know I had something going on with this joint. So, let's see what's going on. So what I'm doing right now is just looking at points that line up far as like used to be resistance, turn support. support. You know what I mean? Support. Let me see. Support. So from resistance. You know, so that's what I'm looking for right now, just to kind of get a gauge on these higher time frames. What's my major levels of you know, support and resistance? I just put the last one like right here. See, support, resistance. Go back on the candlestick chart. See, resistance, some support. Same, right? So as you can see, this is why the market has been wicking up here, because this is like the highest point that we've been at in a while. So we're really in this range. And then we had, you know, downtrend structure, as you can see, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, came down, made this last like support right here. Also probably put one like right here too. Because you got support, resistance before it shot up right here. And we still had higher low point right here. Tried to break from out that area from right here. We had major resistance, like I said, that's being tested. So we still seeing bullish momentum, obviously, because you're seeing higher low points on this high ass time frame. But at the same time, you're at an area of indecision, super indecision. You know, so that's why it's important to always get that higher time frame perspective. Okay, and just walking it down on the weekly, getting a better view. So it's kind of like a bullish pennant, as you can see. Like we got broke resistance on this time frame on the weekly, right around this area. Gave you that retest, right? Went up to it's probably like what, negative 61.8, probably higher than that. Yeah, so hit TPs on that. So it's like understand where you are always. Last major support point was around this area, right?
Yeah.
So that's the area that we would really want to see broke before we start really changing our perspective. But you can always take advantage of, you know, understanding where the market is being respected at, like on these short-term sales and stuff like that, right? Especially on like stuff like when you start seeing these areas up here where all these wicks are on lower time frames, you could definitely take advantage of. Like I said, from the wick up and over, and yeah, I'm gonna change this color though. This one right there. This would be an exhaustion zone towards the top. Same thing towards like the bottom down here. Nice exhaustion zone. Just so you understand when you come towards these points, it's gonna be a lot of indecision, right? And it can also help you like get out of your orders and stuff like that. So, but where we are now, just stuck. So we still have our same based off this higher low point. We'll still be looking for our same structure points. Point A being like right here, point B being on top of this wick, respected 50%. We're still within that main fib. You can also do sub fibs within this, understanding that our main TP will still be like that negative 27%, especially seeing how the market is trying to break out of this area and still maintain the higher low points. It's just a bunch of exhaustion up here because it's the highest point that the market's been at, you know, kind of similar to gold when gold was at its highest point.
Yeah, gold just took off.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So as long as that's the biggest thing, you'll just stand, like I said, staying disciplined within your plan. As long as you're seeing these, you're seeing signs of the trend slow down a little bit, but at the same time, as long as these higher low points are being made, we can go down to like our daily time frame and really dig into the data. All right, so we had this counter trend that happened here. All right, point A, point B into the future. All right, broke into our buy zone because we had a double bottom pattern at support, right?
Yeah.
And came back to a 100% retrace. That's all this is, big ass U, 100% retrace. But at the same time, once we broke out of that resistance right here, I would say like right here, resistance that broke. Looking for buys, man. Still on this daily time frame, still within that structure, point A, B, point C, 61.8, meaning that we're looking for a moderate push back to our negative 27. So kind of slow, but not super slow, just moderate. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I've still been maintaining these higher low points, because, that's at least what I see, breaking it down to the 4-hour time frame. We're still seeing that nice flow, especially on the 4-hour. We can really see, that trend that we want to see. And this is, like I said, where you got to pick a time frame that's, that you cool with seeing that the structure points. You can see, high, minor pullback, high, pullback, high test. All of this was tested.
I feel like it's still going on the 4-hour. I feel like it's still going to fall more before going back up.
And it could, bro. It could, because it, like I said, it's at that major resistance point.
Yeah.
But as long as you're in with the right trend, and like I said, you could definitely take advantage both ways. You know what I'm saying? But even this, give you some type of trend line opportunity.
So I've done that before. Like in a swing trade, I've of course traded. My entry was going towards whatever the trend was. So say it was an uptrend, and then I scalped some sales as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. There's nothing wrong with that, bro. You can profit both ways. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's just showing that you got insight into your pair. And that's why everybody say stick with one pair. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2 pairs, that you feel comfortable with, because once you actually learn those pairs, bro, you could take advantage both ways. That's when you're really, doing your thing in the market, because you could be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this higher low point up. Okay, it got to a certain point where I understand that this is the highest point that the market has reached in a while, so there's going to be some type of rejection. Okay, I seen a bullish and a bearish pattern. Okay, I know I'm at resistance. I checked my lower time frames. I seen a broken level of support that came back up and made a new lower low, came up, made a new lower high point. All right, bet. I know that bearish that bearish bullish pattern is legit. Now I can start working on the lower time frames and take this counter trend down to my first lower high point area, which would be that 38.2. You know what I'm saying? And then if I'm still seeing signs on the lower time frame that is still maintaining this trend, meaning lower highs and lower lows, then I can continue taking it down to the 61.8. If I start seeing a point where I'm starting to see support form, meaning bearish bullish, and then I go down on the lower time frame and I'm seeing resistance start to break, then that's when I want to get out of my order and get back in with that main trend. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because right now, it just, to me, from the 4-hour on down, it looks like it's creating some type of resistance
Right.
at the 750 quarter point. Well, a little bit above it, but it looks like it's creating some type of resistance. So that's why I feel like it's going to drop just a little bit more before it continues up for the trend.
Okay. Yeah. Me, I'm still seeing, like you said, I'm still seeing, bullish movement. I'm still seeing it, because on these higher time frames, I'm still seeing, higher low points being formed along this trend.
Definitely on the higher time frames, yeah.
Definitely come up and retest, certain areas like in this area and drop again, or it could come up into this area to retest up here. Before you start to see some type of resistance. But all of this right here, support. Market do not want to go down here right now.
Yeah.
Even when you go into lower time frames, you got small points of resistance that broke right here, gave you that higher high, came back, gave you that higher low. You could have think this was broken because it's bearish. It's a bearish candle right here that formed another bearish candle. It's a bearish candle that formed another bearish candle, but when you zoom out and go to that higher time frame, well, like I said, you got to determine whether you need more data or less data. You need more data, you go down to the lower time frames. You need less data, You zoom out. So when you zoom out, you see it's just what? Bearish, bullish. See how you could have got faked out if you were just sticking to the lower time frames?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you come back out, you see it's just bearish, bullish. You're like, oh, this area is tested the whole time. Let me put an exhaustion zone down here. Boom. Exhaustion zone. You know what I'm saying? You go back to your lower time frame now that you know where you at. And once you get in these areas and you start to see like, oh, this is really just 100% retracement. And, you know, I'm starting to see areas like this. This lets me know there's more buyers in the market right now. You see what I'm saying? And you always, like I said, you always want to look at like past data as well, because it can give you more insight, you know, as to what can happen in you know, in the future, you know.
Well, yeah, I like measure like when it has those dips, because it's been on the uptrend for a while.
Okay.
When it has those dips, I like measure how many pips it like drops.
Yeah, I like to do that too, man. So I can make sure I know, you know, are the selling moves more profitable, or is it the buying moves that's more profitable at the time? But
With
either
this
way,
pair, it's both kind of.
yeah, because remember, like I said, on that higher time frame, we're really going sideways. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be opportunities both ways. You know what I'm saying? Somebody caught this sell, somebody caught this buy. Somebody caught this sell, somebody caught this buy. You see what I mean? It's just about what do you prefer, you know, and what insight do you have to that'll let you know that like it's okay to take that move. You know, I got enough confirmations to take this move and feel confident about it.
Yeah. What do you suggest to have like in your trading plan? So I basically I have like how many pips I want to grab per week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have pretty much, you know, the session time, the pair, of course, the pip goal for the week, you know, pip goal for the week, pip goal for the month. You always want to keep that at the center of your focus, so that way it's like I understand what I'm doing this for, right? It's not really about the profit. The profit will come if I'm catching the pips, right?
Right.
So definitely that. Also, you know, what confirmations, you know what I'm saying, that I have that made me get into this trade. Also, you know, as far as maintaining wise, what's my main time frame that I'm gonna be looking for, you know, structure and drawing my technicals 80% of the time. What time frame am I on 20% of the time for my entries and, you know, smaller technicals and stuff like that. When I need detail. Other than that, you know, just other stuff like, you know, mindset wise, anything that'll like help you get your mind right as far as following, you know, if I get in at, you know, I'm only looking at, you know, 38.2s or you know, if I'm at 38.2, I'm expecting an aggressive push. So if I see a 38.2 line up with a trend line, then I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna up my lot size a little bit. You know, like just certain things like that. That's custom to how you trade, bro, and like what's gonna help you get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like even when we're talking with bro, he was like, you know, I'm having trouble, you know, as far as like the 15 pips. That's why, you know, I got on with Druzy. And even with that, it's like, all right, now that I know I can catch 15 pips, how do I take that to 20? How do I take it to 25? You know what I mean? How do I get comfortable with not putting my stop loss right in profit as soon as I see, you know, blue? You know what I mean? Like those kind of things. It's like getting over those little mental things and those mental barriers that's going to help you get to that next level.
Right.
But I could definitely show y'all, you know, some stuff that one of my bros had sent. So like this was his for like GJ, you know, identifying the trend and identify structure. You know, higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. Am I in the middle of a move? Am I pivot, bullish? You know, technicals must support my bias. Sell on the downtrend after break of structure. You know, just certain rules that he has. One order per higher, lower high. You know, lower time frames is scaling opportunities. My structure, I'm based off daily 4-hour. Lower my lot size as he's scaling in, study your losses, you know, just certain things that you're going to basically a contract that you're going to hold yourself accountable with. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, those kind of things are definitely, you know, help out and stuff.
Okay. So I got some extra stuff to add to my trading plan.
That's
I guess
good,
I'm gonna start this FTMO again
Yeah, bro.
next week.
Yeah, bro. Gonna get right too, Brody. You know what I'm saying? Just take your time. You know what I mean? And you already did it, so it's like it should, the jitters or whatever the case should be. You know, whatever it should be, whatever now. It should be like trading any other account now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just taking your time and really trying to get yourself, you know, to that next level, so that way, you know, you could really get right. But you know, it starts now. It starts with your discipline. It starts with your trading plan. It starts with, you know, back testing, studying, and really, you know, understanding what it is that you try and get out the market.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah, bro, it ain't no
really-
thing, bro.
I look at the charts and fix my trading plan up a little bit.
Yeah, bro. And if you want to get back on here and you know, we look at some stuff together or whatever, just let me know, bro. Just hit me.
All right, I'm gonna do some charting right now.
All right, that's a bet.
All right, thank you.
All right, no problem.